Hey everyone, special treat today. This is one of the most requested videos, and that is to do from voice to text with Power Apps. And I struggled with this. The way that Power Apps or your browser records voice is different than how ChatGPT Whisper wants it or Azure Speech Services wants it. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our voice, transcribe it, write it to text using ChatGPT Whisper and Power Apps. I can't wait to show you this. This is so awesome. I love it. Let's get into it. All right, so here I am in Power Apps with preview features on. I'm trying the new experience with Power Apps. The first thing I'm going to do for today is I'm going to actually do this correctly. I'm going to use a solution. So I'm going to build a solution. And it's going to be unmanaged for now, right? And this is your development environment, and you're going to make a new solution in your dev environment. So display name. So let's see, I need a name. I already have voice to text solution. I'm going to do whisper to text. Let's just give it a solution name. I need a name. Publisher is myself, create. Now we have a solution here. And the reason I'm doing solution is I'm going to have an environment variable. That's where I'm going to store my API key. I'm going to have a Power App, and I'm going to have a flow. So I'm going to combine all three of those components into one nice packaged solution. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's start with an app, and Canvas app to be exact. We're going to start with a Canvas app, and we'll call it Whisper to text. And let's see, tablet or phone. We're going to do tablet. Almost never choose phone. All right, so here we are on a blank Power App. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to choose a new screen. I like to do this header footer one. I like this template layout. This one works for me. Now there's a few things that I want to do is first I'm going to make some containers. Today we really want to focus on voice to text. If we want to do containers, that's a whole nother video. Okay, I think I have everything set up like I want it. I have a microphone part here. We have button. We have audio right here, audio. And then we have three buttons, and this is in a gallery. These three buttons are in a gallery. So what I want to do is I want, when I record media, it to make a gallery item. That's my first thing I'm going to do. For the on stop of microphone 1, I'm going to collect. Let's just say, let's open this up. Let's say my voice. That's going to be the name, my voice. There's two things I want it to be. I want it to be the audio. I want to grab the audio of microphone 1.audio. But then I want to give it a title. I want to give it some kind of title. And to do that, this is just something I thought of. Title is going to be voice. And then I'm going to do a count. I'm just going to say and variable count. And for variable count, I'm going to set. Let's see here. We need a semicolon set. Variable count is equal to variable count plus 1. So that way, every time, it just kind of reiterates and adds to it. On the on start, I guess I'll just do this on the on start. I will set variable counts to 0. So it should start at 0. And now in my gallery, so we did the my voice. In my gallery, it's going to be, the gallery is going to be equal to my voice, the items property of the gallery. So let's go ahead and try it. So hello, I am now speaking into the mic. So there we go. We created one. The title, we need a title. We need to show it here. So insert text label. This is the title. So this time it was blank because we didn't ever do start the screen. Let's try another one. Hello, I want to talk in the mic. So there we go. We now have voice 1. You can see we have a nice gallery here. And so as we select one, the media will then gallery1.selected.audio. So now, if you listen, hello, I am now speaking into the mic. And then also if we select this one, hello, I want to talk in the mic. So each one of those has a different sound. We have a play button, which should do the same thing. It's just going to select. I am now speaking into the mic. So the play button selects convert, file, and transcribe. Do nothing right now. So they do nothing. Clear. We're going to clear my voice. So voice is actually a collection. We click clear, clears it all out. So now we can speak into the mic and we can record some sound and it saves that voice. So that's kind of my setup right now. That's kind of just how I'm going to set it up. All right, so we have the Power App. You can see my hover fill kind of is off. You know, we can change the hover fill if we want to make things perfect. Instead of color fade this, we just say self.color. Self.color. Maybe it's not self.color. We change it to self.fill. And then we change this one to self.fill. Actually also, so now when we hover over, you can see that those colors actually match. Okay, I'm going to give my Power App a save. And then I'm going to go back and we're going to create a Power Automate. And it's going to be in that solution. All right, so in the solution, we have a Power App. The next thing I'm going to do actually, and this is for security reasons, this is one way of doing it, not the best way. This is a way to do it that adds a little bit layer of security, and that is an environment variable. And this is going to be my Whisper API key. And it is going to be of type text. So your API key, like right up here, you're going to put that in and you're going to save it as an environment variable. So bearer SK, put in your own API key and then store it. So that's what I'm going to do here. So put in your own ChatGPT API key. All right, so you see now we have a Canvas app and we have an environment variable with the API key. Now we're going to create a Cloudflow and it's going to be instant, right? So it's going to be on a button click in Power Apps. So an instant Cloudflow. And so when Power Apps calls a flow, we are going to call, let's do Whisper to text. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get the audio. So I'm going to store the audio here. I'll just call it audio. That's a variable of type text. We're going to store our audio. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just put that in a compose. It's going to be our audio, right? So our audio will go into compose. And now this is where we are going to call Whisper or ChatGPT. So new HTTP. This is an HTTP call. It is premium. It is of type premium. And the method is going to be a post. And the URI, I can show you where you get this. So when you come to the OpenAI documentation, you can see here, we're going to do transcriptions, speech to text. And if you scroll down, it actually starts off in Python. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing Python. You could do Python if you wanted to. But today, what we're going to do is curl. And this is what we're going to follow. So you see this curl, post, URL, transcriptions, authorization. Remember the bearer and then your API key. And it's a multi-part form data. And then you can see that they're using an audio type MP3. We're actually not getting that out of Power Apps, but it's okay. And then the form model, they're using ChatGPT 4.0 Transcribe. So let's do that now in Power Apps. All right, so the URI, we did that before. We saw that before. It is audio transcriptions. Now, headers, this is where you put in your API key. The first thing is authorization, and then the value here. This is where we look at our environment variables, Whisper API. So this is where we did this. We put in Whisper API. So now you're not really hard coding your API key into your flow. So now we're going to do the difficult part, and that is the body. Now, it took me a good bit of time to figure out exactly how to do this. Normally, you would put the content type in the headers, and you would put it right up here. But for today, we're going to do the body. And so if I zoom in here, take a look at this. This took me a while to figure out, so I'm just going to give it to you. We have the content type, multi-part. Then there's headers, you know, form data model, Whisper 1, all this data in here. Audio, right here, this is important. Audio, WebM. This is the file format that Power Apps is going to give us when we save a file from Power Apps. And then we're going to just pull in the outputs of this compose statement and put it in the content. Next, we are going to parse. We're going to parse our JSON. Very simple parse statement. Very, very simple. And the content is going to be the body of HTTP. And for this one, it's just very simple. We just want to pull out the text. We're going to have a type of object, and I want to pull out the text in a string. Very simple. The next step is we are going to respond to Power Apps. And I was talking with someone online, and they kept telling me that it was premium to do this. Responding to Power Apps is not premium. So respond to Power App or Flow is not premium. What is premium is this HTTP call. So you can do other things. Just a little tip in here. You could do an HTTP REST call to SharePoint, which is not premium, right? So if you come in here and you do HTTP call to SharePoint, see, you notice that send an HTTP request to SharePoint is not premium. This one is premium. So you can do these HTTP requests non-premium, and you can respond to Power Apps. There's nothing premium about doing Power Apps, doing an HTTP call to your 365 tenant, and then responding to Power Apps. There's nothing premium in that. What is premium is we're reaching out to ChatGPT. Okay? And so now we are going to respond with a text transcription. And it is going to be from our parse JSON, the text. So parse JSON gives us the text. This is our entire flow. You may think this is simple. I'm making it simple for you. This took me a full day to figure out. And I know it seemed, oh, it's so simple, right? All right, so we have the Power Automate flow. We give it a save. Let's click back and go back to our solution. So now in our solution, maybe I should have renamed these. Let's rename this. I'll leave it the same. Probably not the smartest thing to do, but the flow and the app are named the same. So I'm going to click back on the app, and we are going to edit the app again. So in our app, you can see I have a blank screen 1. I'm going to delete that one. I just want screen 2. And then here, I'm going to go to Power Automate, add flow, not create new flow. I'm going to add flow, whisper to text, right? It's part of that solution, so it makes it really easy to find. So as I was saying, I had this convert file button. I don't need to convert anymore. It took me a very long time to try and figure out that I don't need to convert. I just need to pass the data correctly to Power Automate so that Whisper or ChatGPT can understand it. And to do that, I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm going to try and break it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my audio JSON. And I'm going to grab the microphone 1. So if you come in here and you look at the tree view, microphone 1 is right here, this green piece. So let's see. I'm going to grab microphone 1.audio, and I want to make sure that it includes the binary data. All right, so that is step 1 that I'm doing. I'm setting JSON so it includes the binary data. Then this was the difficult part that took me a little while to figure out. Audio, base 64, I'm going to call it. This is where I'm going into that metadata of the file, and I'm going to do mid. This took me a while to figure out mid. I'm going to go into the right after the header, and I'm going to get the audio JSON. I'm going to go in 25. I'm going to find the full length, of audio JSON, and I am going to subtract 25 characters. So the reason is that Whisper doesn't want everything in the base 64. I'm kind of taking off some of the headers, and I'm just grabbing in that raw base 64 text which the audio literally is just a string of characters. When we're passing audio to Power Automate, we're not passing the full audio, right? No, we're converting audio to text, sending it to Power Automate. Then we're going to transcribe it, send it back as text, which is a base64 format. And so we're just kind of removing some of the headers of that metadata. Finally, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my, let's say, transcription, maybe a response. We'll get my response of the Power Automate. So the Power Automate, we called it Whisper to Text Run. So that's the name of our Power Automate. And we are going to run our audio base64. Let's see, I'm missing a parentheses. Okay, so I just have a play and a transcribe button. So now what I want is down here to have a text. So insert a text label. And this one will be transcription. And then below it, we'll have another text. And this one will take up all the space. We want it to take up all the space in there. And it is going to be my response.transcription. So this is just, this variable here, transcription, is pulling from Power Automate. So we can take a look there. That's coming from Power Automate. Response is coming from right here, this variable. So response.transcription. Let's give it a test. Hello, my name is Andrew Hess. Let's hit the transcribe button. It's running Power Automate. Boom. Transcription. It wrote it. This took me forever to figure out. I am not kidding you. This was not something easy. I was struggling to try and figure this out. But wow, did you see how easy I made that for you? So let's make sure that the text kind of is at the top. I don't want it to be in the center. So there we go. Hello, my name is Andrew Hess. Maybe we'll italicize it just so we know that this is the transcription. Let's do another one. This took me forever to figure out how to use ChatGPT Whisper with Power Automate. The file formats from a browser are very different from how you would normally get it and send a WAV file. If you have a simple WAV file, it's very easy to transcribe. So now let's hit so we can hit play, right? So we can, hello, my name is Andrew Hess. So that's that one. Now let's click on voice 1. You can see it's 19 seconds. This took me forever to figure out. So now let's transcribe it. It's running to Power Automate, reaching out. Look at that. This took me forever to figure out how to use ChatGPT Whisper with Power Automate. Now that you have this, you can do more AI with it, right? You can collect each of these and store them, and then you can summarize your text based on voice. The power now is up to you. I have now shown you how to use ChatGPT with Whisper, made it super easy for you. This took me weeks. This took me a very long time. I'm giving it to you for free. This was based on one of your ideas. This was requested all over. How to do speech to text, speech to text, speech to text. Maybe next, there is a possibility we might do text to speech. I feel like we should reach out to 11 Labs. That's what I think, because if you've ever experienced 11 Labs, you can do different types of voices, AI voices. That's really cool. And so here you are. I'm packaging it up for you. We'll give it a nice save. You now have a Power App that records your speech. We have made it into a solution. We did not hard code our API key into the flow. So if you check out the flow, it's in an environment variable. That's one level up. So just so you know, there are some limitations. I believe there's I think there's 25 megabyte. I think that's the limitation of, and when you have a very long speech, you maybe, have to chunk it or loop through. That may be some things you run into. But for me, this was a very simple Power App, very simple Power Automate. We made it into a solution. You can box this up, send it around. Now it's good for your dev, test, prod. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy this video. It means a lot to me. I really love doing this. This is awesome. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next week.